What up, family? Just want to come to you real quick. I made a video long ago, but I thought indirectly it would be offensive to some people. I left it alone. But I'm going to read the book of Maccabees, chapter 1. Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 31. It was reported to the officers and soldiers of the king who were in the city of David in Jerusalem, that certain men who had flouted the king's order had gone out to the hiding places in the desert. Mary hurried after them, and having caught up with them, camped outside and prepared to attack them on the Sabbath. Enough of this, the pursuers said to them. Come out and obey the king's command, and your lives will be spared. But they replied, We will not come out, nor will we obey the king's command to profane the Sabbath. Then the enemy attacked them at once, but they did not retaliate. They neither threw stones nor blocked up their own hiding places. They said, Let us all die without reproach. Heaven and earth are witnesses that you destroy us unjustly. So the officers and soldiers attacked them on the Sabbath, and they died with their wives, their children, and their cattle, to the number of 1,000 persons. So we see that our people said that they were not going to fight on the Sabbath day. They believe this garbage. I guess they believe this. This is the book of Maccabees. So, I'm, all I'm saying is, can our people be that dumb? But check out what I'm saying, though, because I don't talk real bad about the book of Maccabees. There's a lot of good in the book of Maccabees I've seen. Reading the book of Maccabees is one of my favorite things to read. Well, I can't lie. It used to be one of my favorite things to read. And it is a good book to check out if you have time. It says a lot of things about righteousness. Um, so I'm gonna keep on reading in verse 39. When Matthias and his friends heard of it, they mourned deeply for them. If we all do as our kinsmen have done, they said one to another, and do not fight against the Gentiles for our lives and our traditions, they will soon destroy us from the earth. On that day, they came to this decision. Let us fight against anyone who attacks us on the Sabbath, so that we may not all die as our kinsmen died in the hiding places. So right here, we're saying that the kinsmen died because they didn't want to fight on the Sabbath. And the people, it seems it must be a good idea. People say, oh, well, I can understand that, not defending yourself when someone's trying to kill you. I can understand that. That sounds really retarded. But this was a good idea in the book of Maccabees. Now I'm wondering why. And I'm going to read, let me get my scriptures. I'm going to read Second Chronicles chapter 23. And it says, And in the 7th year, Jehoiada strengthened himself and took the captains of hundreds, Azariah the son of Jehoram, and Ishmael the son of Jehohanan, and Azariah, the son of Obed, and Messiah the son of Adiah, and Elisaphat the son of Sakari, into the covenant with him. And they went about in Yehuda and gathered the Levites out of all the cities of Judah, and the chief of the fathers of Israel, and they came to Jerusalem. Right here, we're seeing that they're gathering Levites Obviously, the Levites had a job. Not Naphtali, not Dan, not Asher, not Benjamin, not Judah, not anybody from the fourth tribe, but they gathered the Levites because that's their job. They didn't have a portion in Israel. So that's why they gathered. Let's keep reading though. And it says, and all the congregation made a covenant with the king in the house of Elohim. And he said unto them, behold, the king's son shall reign, as Yahweh hath said of the sons of David. This is the thing that ye shall do. A third part of you entering in on the Sabbath of the priests and of the Levites shall be porters of the door. And the third part shall be at the king's house, and the third part at the gate of the foundation. And all the people shall be in the court of the house of Yah, but let none come into the house of Yah, save the priests and they that minister of the Levites. They shall go in, for they are holy, but all the people shall keep the watch of Yah. And the Levites shall compass the king round about, every man with his weapon in his hand. And whosoever else cometh to the house, he shall be put to death. But be ye with the king when he cometh in, and when he goeth out. Right here, anybody trying to come to the house, the Levites will put you to death. We're going to figure out what day these Levites are going to be doing this. So they're killing people. Verse 8. So the Levites and all Yehudah did according to all the things that Jehoiada the priest had commanded, and took every man his man that were to come in on the Sabbath with them, and that would go out on the Sabbath. For Jehoiada the priest dismissed not the courses. Moreover, Jehoiada the priest delivered to the captains of hundreds spears and bucklers and shields that had been King David's, which were in the house of Elohim. And he set all the people, every man having his weapon in his hand, from the right side of the temple to the left side of the temple, along by the altar and the temple by the king round about. If you guys are listening, this is how, if you talk to anybody from the Yahweh Our Righteousness organization and you mention this chapter, it will defeat their whole doctrine about people not being able to leave their house on the Sabbath day. Say, we can't leave your house. The prophet Moreh Elisha had a debate with the head of that organization that's online, trying to teach. He showed different scriptures talking about how there's neither new moon nor Sabbath. But right here it shows our people left their house on the Sabbath. Let's just keep reading though. They brought out the king's son and put them on the crown and gave him the testimony and made him king. And Jehoiada and his sons anointed him and said, Elohim save the king. Now when Athaliah heard the noise of the people running and praising the king, she came to the people into the house of Yah. She looked, and behold, the king stood at his pillar at the entering in, and the princes and the trumpets by the king, and all the people of the land rejoiced and sounded the trumpets. Also the singers with instruments of music, and such as had taught to sing praise. Then Athaliah rent her clothes and said, treason, treason. So we're seeing that all the people of the land came out on the Sabbath day, all of them, on this Sabbath, out their houses. So, I mean, of course, it should be obvious to most of you, you can have a convocation. These people don't even believe you can have a holy convocation. I think it should be as clear as that. Yeah, there's people like that. All right. Let me keep reading, though, because it shows a lot. And Jehoiada the priest brought out the captains of hundreds that were set over the host and said unto them, have you followed of the ranges? And whoso followeth her, let him be slain with the sword. For the priest said, slay her not in the house of Yah. So they laid hands on her, and when she was come to the entering of the horse gate by the king's house, they slew her there. So right here we're seeing that we have an enemy of whatever's going on. We have an enemy taking place and somebody getting murdered, somebody getting killed on the Sabbath day. They slew her there. So they were fighting on the Sabbath day. And killing on the Sabbath day. And Jehoiada made a covenant between him and between all the people and between the king that should be Yah's people. And all the people went to the house of the deity and broke it down and break its altar and its images in pieces and slew Matan the priest of Baal before the altars. And Jehoiada appointed the officers of the house of Yah by the hand of the priests, the Levites, whom David had distributed in the house of Yah to offer burnt offerings to Yah. And it is written in the law of Moses with regard with singing as it was ordained by David. Oh yeah, so of course the priest is going to be doing them sacrifices. But we see right here clearly in the book of Maccabees that they made that was a mistake in the book of Maccabees. Either it was a mistake or our people was not thinking correctly. But you give me your opinion on